Hello everyone, I'm Asib and welcome to my first dev vlog about Banterbus Depends How You're Counting. Again, this is going to be one of those that's not actually the time I say it is, in the sense that we're kind of looking back at the end of August at the state of the project, and in this video we're going to take a look at how I set up dev shells for or development environments for my Banterbus project using Nix. If you've listened to any of my conference talks, this will be quite like adjacent to that. But yeah, so we're going to kind of take a look at that, and we're going to pretend this is like the 31st of August and not like the 5th of October when I'm actually recording. At some point I'll catch up and they will actually be accurate to the progress of the project, which will hopefully be progressing. Kind of one of the first things I did was make sure that there was a development environment set up. And what I mean by that is, if we just take a look, so yeah, if we just clear that, as you can see, I'm looking at the project at a specific Git commit, which was again this 31st of August. So if we do like Nix develop, it forces us into this development shell, which we're already in, by the way, and that gives us a bunch of tools like SQLC for generating code, SQL code from this queries file. And if we leave this folder and try and look for SQLC. Oh, okay, I think I have it globally installed. I'm trying to think, what is something I don't have globally installed? Anyways, the idea is you can kind of see it here is we have this direnv thing here running. We're using a variant called Nix direnv. This is cached as in the dev shell's already been built. And if we kind of take a look at what direnv is doing, which is this mvar file, we can see it's calling this use flake. So if we go to flake.nix, what we'll see is I've taken this generic template for my Go project, and I've taken this from the Go mod to Nix, so we can build Go modules in Nix. So we can do something like Nix build. Because it's the default here, it will start building this. We'll take a look at that at some point. And we can see we're building our Banterbus binary now using Nix. But anyways, I'm going to kill that because we don't really care. What we want to focus on today is this kind of dev shell part. Really, if we want, actually, I'll just really quickly show you. It's the kind of template was taken from this Go mod to Nix project. And yeah, it gives you this kind of template you can start out with using like this Nix Flake in it. And yeah, essentially just allows you to build your Go binary using Nix. So, you know, you can kind of do everything with Nix if you want. I'll probably do a separate video about that, but yeah, we can kind of close these. Anyways, as I say, these videos are more rambly and are much more like not as well polished because I'm just talking and I'm not editing this much. But yeah, anyways, we have this kind of default dev shell. So hence when we do like Nix develop earlier, it just ran, it's basically just running this Nix expression, right? And we have this shell.nix and we're passing it a bunch of stuff, this make goenv, which I haven't managed to get to work yet, but also we're passing it this pre-commit input here that we've defined over here. And we'll take a look how we're using that. But essentially, we're using dev shells to install dependencies that you might not have, and then also set up pre-commit hooks as well, for those of you familiar with that. So let's go to the shell.nix file. We can see we have a bunch of like this kind of dealing with arguments and default arguments. We don't really have to worry about that. As you can see here, I'm not really using goenv. I've commented it out because it was having issues with Golang CI-lint, but the idea is you can have all of your Go dependencies, I think, set up when you run like Nix develop, which we don't actually have to do, just in case that wasn't clear. When we load into Banterbus, you can see we get this like impure Nix shell, and we get all this, which means direnv, which is this tool that runs arbitrary code automatically from that mvar file, is doing that for us. But we could also do it manually using Nix develop if we wanted to. But yeah, so I think goenv would do that from what I understand. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so it just means from this one command, it would kind of set up our environment, which is quite nice. And then we install the rest of our package packages. Yeah, one thing that's not globally installed is playwright. So we can do like playwright help. And then if we leave this folder, excuse me, where's playwright coming from? It's coming from the Go. Okay. So they're installed in different places. So I guess it must have been when I was playing around. But I think if we check this one, this is coming from the Nix store, and the other one I installed manually. Again, you're seeing the unedited nature of these videos. But yeah, but you can see this is being loaded in from this dev shell. We can make sure we have the correct version. People, we can make sure all of our developers that are using Nix to set up these development shells will have the same version. So we've got 1.45.1 here, and then we can keep this in sync, and it's all managed by this log file, which we'll take a look in a second. But yeah, we've got a bunch of these packages that we want to have installed, like Goose for running database migrations, etc. People might not have these installed globally, so rather than having a bunch of tools that I expect people to have, we can just do this. And then ignore the playwright stuff. I'll talk about how I set playwright and how I got it working with Nix as well in probably another video. But yeah, we've got this pre-commit check shell hook. So the shell hook is executed when we run load into the shell. So I think if we did like echo hello world Nix, I guess, yeah, thank you. And then we've got this little pre-commit blob here, or this object here, where basically we're defining a bunch of hooks. In this case, kept it really simple, just got Golang CI lint and go test. So we can do like pre-commit run on all of our files, and it will run these two commands on all of our files. But because we've got this shell hook here as well, it means that we don't have to do pre-commit install, which we normally would, which is quite nice as well. It's just like basically what I'm trying to do is just remove as many commands as I need to run when I'm coming to a project or other developers need to do. Yeah, okay, we've seen it's failing with some stuff. I think if this is just generated code, probably. But anyways, you can see it's failing, but we can run pre-commit, and if we tried to commit stuff, it would run as well. So just before we commit stuff, it would run these two jobs, and if it fails, it would stop us from committing. So how can I break the linter? If we go to main.go, if I just set that to a string, right, that will break a bunch of stuff. And I guess if I try and commit that, we'll just do work. Yeah, you can see here, you can see how pre-commits caught these errors here for us. So rather than needing to wait for CI, we can just get that all working locally, which is quite nice. And then we can just change that back to where it used to be. And that should be all good. So that's kind of what the pre-commit setup does. Again, kept it pretty simple. I don't think you want pre-commit to be long running. You want it to kind of be like, happens like kind of straight away, or like within a couple of seconds. But yeah, so that's kind of the main two bits. We've got pre-commit setup here. We've got these dependencies here. And then we'll also use these ones in CI. I will do another vlog pretty soon about how I've set up CI, but the idea is like when I do like task lint, basically want to make sure that the same version is running in CI. Again, failing probably just from a lack of generated code, because I've taken this commit and I wasn't committing my generated code at that time. But yeah, that doesn't really matter too much, but that's cool. So let's take a look at the flake.log file. And what we'll see here is we've got like all of the dependencies we kind of have in our flake.nix file here. These inputs, they're dependencies, and these will be locked to in some capacity here. And since most of these are Git repositories, we'll have a revision. And so that basically tells us, if we find Nix packages, there'll probably be quite a few Nix packages here, but it will like tell us which revision of Nix packages we're using. And that ties it until we do like a NFU, I have it as, which is Nix Flake update, which will update all of our dependencies, and then we can reload the development shell, which is quite nice. And then that's how we're like explicitly updating the dependencies. But up until then, all the developers should get the same ones. So if I like go to Nix packages on GitHub, for example, right? Like, for example, this is building Golang CI lint. Now we could go to this revision and see what Golang CI lint was, and it will probably like be some version before this, because this is the current, right? And we can see recently, last month, it just got updated. And then this expression has all the instructions. Sorry, let me full screen that. This expression has all the instructions of how to install this in kind of the Nix way. This package. And when we come in our shell.nix and we tell it to install Golang CI lint, it knows to go to Nix packages and fetch that expression and run that. And because it's version controlled, every developer is basically going to get the same version of that binary. Obviously, there might be some architectural differences if you're building on ARM versus like AMD64. But yeah, but that's kind of like my, I didn't show you the shell hook, did I? I think if we run this, yeah, you can see around the hello from Nix. So it kind of runs everything in here. So it's also running like the pre-commit install, which is quite nice. And then we have build inputs here, which basically means if there was any binaries being like created here, which I guess they're not, or like not what am I talking about? Not binaries created, but if there was any like commands or tools that we didn't have available here, like let's say I didn't have Golang CI lint, I didn't have it globally installed, it would make it available in this development environment for us as like a build input. Because I think Nix development, this Nix developer was originally a way to debug what was going on with your Nix expressions, but I guess because of how flexible they were, people figured out that they could also use them as like development environments because they're reproducible. Again, I have a few conference talks, or I will have a few conference talks talking about that, so you can go watch them. And I know there's a myriad of videos and resources online about how Nix makes things reproducible. But that's kind of it. Just a kind of a short vlog about how I've set up my development environment and kind of looking for this reproducible development environment, ephemeral. You know, when we leave the folder, the development environment's gone. If I go to another one of my projects, we'll have different stuff. I won't have Goose, for example. See, that's one I should have tried instead of wasting your time with all the other stuff. But yeah, but OptiNix has its own development environment. Sort of kind of ephemeral, and they're reproducible, so each developer, mind you, I'm the only developer working on both of these, but in theory any developer can come and pick this up and almost have a one command setup. At the moment you probably have to do like when you clone it, so I think if I do direnv disallow, it will show you what it looks like, but when you first clone it and you go into it, the first time you clone it, it will like direnv will say, hey, like you need to allow me to run for this folder. Otherwise people could just run like arbitrary code, right? So you can go see the env.rc, see what it's doing and be like, okay, that's cool, that I don't mind that. It's just installing dependencies. But yeah, you kind of have that one command and everything's set up. It's not quite true because you also need to install your Go dependencies. If I could get this GoEnv to work, I think that does it. Not 100% sure. Go mod to Nix is cool, but I don't know like how much it's getting updated. So I need to take a look at that, reevaluate that. But it's pretty cool because we can also build Docker containers. Again, I'll do a separate video, probably, as I say, about CI and then how I build Docker images. But again, it's like very similar. Okay, well, it's not. I guess here it was broken, but in the latest version, we are building Docker images. I've got it deployed. The development version, I've got it deployed, like dev.banterbus.games on a Kubernetes cluster I'm hosting. So I'm like playing around with some self-hosted stuff as well to learn a bit more about that and deploying my own Kubernetes instance. But yeah, neither here nor there. Again, very rambly. I'm going to probably make these unedited or not edited much. Let me know if you like that. Let me know if I can improve that. I think the colors are still looking a bit washed out with OBS when I record compared to like how they actually look. I don't know how to fix that. I've tried to watch some videos, but if people know, let me know. But yeah, hopefully that was somewhat useful for you. And I will do more of these as like kind of I figure stuff out, share with the world, or share with you guys how I figured it out, and maybe even like listen to your advice or feedback, etc., etc. Thank you.